Have you ever held something in your hand that looked so ordinary, yet it carried the power to change your life forever? Imagine a simple old coin, something that could be sitting in a dusty jar in your grandparents' house. Yet today, in the heat of the auction market, it commands a value that rivals the fortune of kings. These aren't just coins, they are treasures of American history, pieces of art sculpted in metal, and symbols of an era when the nation itself was being forged. Today, I am about to take you on a journey that collectors dream of and treasure hunters chase with their entire lives. A journey into the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable buffalo nickels and war nickels that are shaking today's auction market with values so extraordinary that one discovery can change your destiny overnight. These are not just coins, they are living proof that hidden treasures still exist in plain sight. Some are locked away in private vaults, some sit silently in museums, and others, who knows, could still be waiting in the hands of unsuspecting owners. Each one carries a story filled with history, rarity, and mystery, and today you will see them unfold one by one like chapters in a treasure novel. Stay with me until the very end, because the final coin in this list is so breathtaking, so extraordinary in its rarity, that its market price is no less than a monumental treasure that could redefine the meaning of wealth. This is True Coin Value, the only place where you get faithful, fresh, and daily updates on the coins that are rewriting history and making collectors' hearts race. Coin 1. The story begins in the year 1925, deep in the roaring 20s, an era of jazz, prohibition, booming industries, and a nation bursting with new energy. At the San Francisco Mint, something remarkable happened that year. Among the millions of nickels struck across the nation, the S-Mint mark coins from San Francisco emerged as one of the most elusive treasures of the Buffalo Nickel series. Designed by the great James Earl Fraser, the Buffalo Nickel was more than just currency. It was a tribute to America's native roots and frontier spirit. On one side, a bold Native American profile said to be inspired by a composite of real native leaders. On the reverse, the mighty American buffalo, standing tall, fierce, and unyielding, a symbol of strength and survival. Every detail of this coin screams heritage, resilience, and artistry. But here's where the story of the 1925S gets fascinating. Production at the San Francisco Mint that year was plagued with weak strikes. The dies wore out quickly, and coins often came out with blurry details. That means well-struck, nicely preserved examples are extremely rare. And when you add natural aging with distinctive brown spotting in very fine condition, you're looking at something no ordinary collector can easily find. Collectors around the world hunt for this coin because it checks every box: rarity, history, and condition. A 1925S that survives with clear detail and honest aging is a dream find. The scarcity only grows with time, because these coins weren't saved in large numbers back then. Most circulated heavily, worn down by daily use until their designs faded into shadows. The survivors in strong grades are now the beating heart of high-end collections. And here's the climax, the reason why this humble nickel is a true treasure. The current auction market has pushed its value to an astounding $155,000 in very fine condition. Yes, you heard that right, $155,000 US dollars for a coin you could once spend on a loaf of bread. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is the undeniable truth of the market today. A coin like this in your hand is nothing short of holding a big treasure, a fortune compressed into metal, a living piece of America's wealth history. The demand is relentless, and the value is only climbing. Auction after auction proves that the 1925's Buffalo nickel is not just a collectible, it's an investment, a treasure chest waiting to grow. Mark my words, the price we see today is only the beginning. As collectors compete, as wealthy investors enter the scene, this nickel's value will surge higher and higher, becoming a crown jewel of numismatic history. So, my friends, if you ever come across a Buffalo nickel with that little S under the date, don't pass it by. Study it, protect it, get it authenticated, because you may very well be holding the ticket to fortune. The 1925's Buffalo nickel is not just a coin, it's a piece of America's beating heart, a legacy cast in metal, and a treasure that grows more priceless with every passing year. And that's just the first coin of our journey today. Trust me, what's coming next will take this excitement to an even higher level. Stay tuned, because the treasure hunt has just begun. Next up, the next chapter in our treasure hunt takes us to the mid-1930s, a time when America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce, banks were failing, and yet the U.S. Mint continued to press forward, producing coins that would circulate in every corner of the nation. Among those coins, one stands out today like a hidden beacon of wealth, the 1936 Buffalo nickel. Now, when we talk about the Buffalo nickel, the first thought that comes to mind is artistry. James Earl Fraser's iconic design is one of the most admired in all of U.S. coinage. But the Denver Mint in 1936 gave us something far rarer than beauty alone. It produced nickels that, though they were struck in respectable numbers, hid within them a secret. You see, most of these coins went straight into circulation, clinking in pockets, exchanged for food, fuel, or even small luxuries of the time. Hardly anyone thought to save them in pristine condition. Fast forward nearly a century, and this is where the story turns extraordinary. Because surviving examples of the 1936 in very good condition, coins that still show strong details of the Native American's profile and the mighty buffalo's rugged form, have become treasures of the highest order. The D mint mark, discreetly tucked under the denomination on the reverse, instantly elevates the status of this coin in collectors' eyes. It says Denver 1936, and it whispers of a rarity that few can even dream of holding today. Why is this coin so unique? Part of its magic lies in the timing. The year 1936 was one of transition for the Buffalo nickel series. Mint production was improving, dies were sharper than in earlier years, and yet the Denver output carried subtle irregularities that make it one of the most fascinating issues for numismatists. Some pieces came out with slightly weaker strikes, others with minor die variations. To the casual eye, these are imperfections, but to collectors, they are the fingerprints of history, making every coin a one-of-a-kind artifact. And then there is the sheer scarcity. Think of how many of these nickels were spent until they wore down to near smoothness. To find one in very good condition today is nothing short of a miracle. Collectors know this. Investors know this. Auction houses know this. That's why the demand for this coin continues to climb like a tidal wave. And now, here's the thunderclap moment. The current auction market has valued the 1936 Buffalo nickel at a staggering $140,500 in very good condition. That's not just a price, it's a statement. A declaration that this coin has crossed the threshold from currency to treasure. We are not talking about a handful of dollars or even thousands. We are talking about a piece of nickel and copper alloy transformed into a six-figure fortune. A true treasure locked in metal, a symbol of wealth compressed into a coin smaller than the palm of your hand. This is not fantasy. This is today's reality. The auction floors prove it, the collectors confirm it, and the market keeps pushing the numbers higher. Day by day, the value of this buffalo nickel grows stronger, like a flame fed with oxygen. Those who already own one in respectable condition are sitting on treasure vaults they can carry in their pockets. And those who are still searching, well, the hunt for the 1936D has become a legend of its own. Collectors, here's a word of advice. If you ever encounter a buffalo nickel with that bold date 1936 and the unmistakable D mint mark beneath the buffalo, don't hesitate. Protect it, verify it, and cherish it. Because what you're holding is not just a collectible, it's a living investment, a heritage piece that is climbing in value with no signs of slowing down. The 1936D Buffalo Nickel is not just another entry in the long story of U.S. coinage. It is a pillar, a giant, a prize so rare and so desired that even mentioning it stirs excitement across the numismatic community. Owning one means you're not just part of history, you're holding the very essence of America's struggle, survival, and triumph in your hands. And remember, friends, this is true coin value. Every day, we bring you faithful, fresh, and newly updated insights into coins that could be worth a fortune, coins that the world is chasing, coins that transform collectors into treasure keepers. The 1936D Buffalo Nickel has proven that sometimes even the simplest pocket change of yesterday becomes the crown jewel of today. And the further we go in this list, the bigger and more breathtaking the treasures become. Stay with me. The next coin is waiting, and its story might just shock you even more. Next up, as we journey deeper into the world of hidden treasures, we now arrive at a year that tells a story of resilience and recovery, 1934. America was still feeling the heavy grip of the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce, families were struggling, and every single coin had value in daily survival. Yet in the Denver Mint, amidst this turbulent backdrop, something extraordinary was born, the 1934D Buffalo Nickel. To most people of that era, this coin was just a means of survival, a nickel for bread, milk, or a cup of coffee. But little did they know that nearly a century later, this very coin would rise from ordinary circulation to become a powerful symbol of wealth and rarity in the numismatic world. Let's start with its beauty. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the Buffalo Nickel was already legendary. The Native American profile, noble, strong, and proud, was a tribute to the true spirit of America. The reverse, showing the great American buffalo, carried the weight of a nation's wild frontier. But the Denver Mint coins of 1934 hold something even more captivating. Many examples, like the one we focus on today, developed a rich brown shade toning over time, a natural patina that collectors cherish. This is nature's artistry layered on top of Fraser's masterpiece, creating a one-of-a-kind look that no two coins share exactly. Now, what makes this particular 1934D coin so remarkable is its uncirculated condition. Imagine that, a coin minted in the depth of the Depression, when every nickel was spent and re-spent, somehow surviving untouched, shielded from the wear of circulation. No pockets wore it down. No cash registers rubbed it smooth. It has been preserved for nearly a century with its details sharp, its design bold, and its character intact. That is nothing short of miraculous. Collectors know how rare this is. Uncirculated buffalo nickels from the early 1930s are not just hard to find, they are almost mythical. The Denver Mint struck fewer coins than its eastern counterparts, and fewer still survived untouched. Combine that with the rich brown toning, and you're looking at a coin that is truly one in a million. The demand is sky high, and it's no wonder why. The 1934D Buffalo nickel is not just a collectible, it is a legend in its own right. Auction after auction, collectors compete fiercely to capture one of these treasures. Every bid pushes the value higher, every sale writes another chapter in its rising history. And here comes the thunderous reveal. In today's auction market, a 1934D Buffalo nickel in brown shade, uncirculated condition, commands a staggering $123,000. Yes, 123,000 US dollars. A nickel once exchanged for survival in the Depression era now shines as a beacon of fortune, a true treasure in the hands of its fortunate owner. This isn't speculation. This is reality, proven by today's collectors and auction results. Think about it. A coin that once may have passed through trembling hands during the hardest times in America is now a symbol of prosperity. This isn't just money. This is history transformed into wealth. Owning this coin means holding an artifact of survival and triumph, a reminder that even in the darkest times, treasures are forged. And what's even more exciting, the value of this coin is not standing still. It is growing, climbing with every passing year. The market for Buffalo nickels, especially rare Denver issues in uncirculated condition, is on fire. Collectors are hungry for them, investors are watching closely, and the future of the 1934D shines brighter than ever. Don't take this lightly. This is no less than having a treasure chest locked inside a nickel. So here's the tip for every treasure hunter and coin enthusiast watching right now. Always examine Buffalo nickels with a Denver mint mark. If you find one, and if by fortune it carries the untouched brilliance of uncirculated condition, protect it with everything you have. You may be holding not just a coin, but a fortune in disguise, a gateway into the world of numismatic royalty. The 1934D Buffalo nickel, with its history, rarity, condition, and unmatched value, reminds us of one simple truth. True treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered. And when you find one, you're not just a collector, you're a keeper of history, a guardian of wealth, and a bearer of America's timeless story. And remember, here on True Coin Value, we bring you the freshest, most faithful updates every single day on coins that can change lives. The journey doesn't stop here, because as breathtaking as the 1934D is, the next coin on our list carries a story so astonishing it will shake you even more. Stay with me, the treasure hunt is only getting deeper. Next up, as our treasure hunt continues, we now enter one of the most fascinating chapters in American coinage history, a time when the world was at war, when every ounce of metal mattered, and when even a simple 5-cent coin carried the weight of sacrifice and victory. This is the story of the 1945 war nickel, a coin born not only of minting tradition, but also of wartime necessity and national pride. Picture the year 1945. The Second World War was in its final, most intense stages. The United States was pouring every resource it had into the war effort. Nickel, a vital metal for armor plating, weapons, and machinery, was too valuable to use in everyday coinage. And so the Mint made a bold decision. From 1942 to 1945, nickels would be struck not with their usual copper-nickel alloy, but with a special wartime composition, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. Yes, silver. For the first time in history, nickels were minted with precious metal, making them treasures even before collectors realized their future significance. And among these wartime nickels, the 1945 stands tall. Produced at the San Francisco Mint, these coins are instantly recognizable by the large S mint mark above the Monticello on the reverse, a bold design choice so they could be quickly identified for withdrawal after the war. But what makes this particular example so unique are the natural spots it has developed over time. On the obverse, a subtle brown spot. On the reverse, a delicate green patina. Far from flaws, these are nature's fingerprints, adding authenticity and character that collectors crave. Every mark tells a story. Every shade of toning is a whisper from the past, reminding us that this coin has lived through an era most of us only read about. Now, let's talk rarity. While millions of 1945 S nickels were struck, most were spent, circulated, and eventually pulled from use. Very few survived in such very nice condition, with original details intact and natural toning preserved. The silver content made them prone to tarnish, wear, and corrosion. To find one today with this kind of balanced aging, sharp detail, and undeniable originality is nothing less than a numismatic miracle. Collectors worldwide chase after these wartime nickels, not just for their beauty, but for their symbolism. They are pieces of America's wartime effort, physical artifacts of a nation's sacrifice. Holding one is like holding a fragment of history, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the nation pressed forward. And in the auction markets, that symbolism translates directly into staggering demand. And here's the moment you've been waiting for, the thunderclap reveal. The current auction market has valued the 1945 S war nickel in very nice condition at an astonishing $115,000. Yes, 115,000 US dollars. Think about that. A coin once minted in the midst of global conflict. A coin born of necessity and sacrifice, today stands as a treasure chest of value. This is no ordinary nickel. This is wealth compressed into silver and copper. This is history crystallized into treasure. And the story doesn't stop there. The value of the 1945 S continues to climb. As collectors seek out wartime issues, as silver coinage grows scarcer in untouched condition, the market pushes this treasure higher and higher. Day by day, it proves itself not just as a collectible, but as an investment, a fortune that can only appreciate with time. Don't take this lightly. This is no less than a treasure of America's war years, and its value will only grow stronger as history becomes ever more cherished. So here's the tip for every collector watching. When you examine nickels from the 1940s, always check the reverse. Look for that bold mint mark above Monticello. If you see an S from 1945, study it closely. If you notice original detail, natural spots, or unusual patina, you may be holding a key to fortune. Get it authenticated. Protect it. Treasure it. Because you may be holding one of the rarest and most valuable artifacts of America's wartime coinage. The 1945 S war nickel is more than money. It is legacy. It is patriotism. It is treasure forged in the crucible of war, now shining as a beacon of wealth in the numismatic world. Owning one is like holding a piece of victory in your hand, a reminder that even in times of sacrifice, treasures are born. And remember, here on True Coin Value, we bring you faithful, fresh, and daily updates on treasures like these, so you never miss the chance to discover the fortune that may already be in your possession. We have unveiled 4 treasures so far, each one more breathtaking than the last. But stay with me, because the next coin on this journey carries a story that will stir your imagination even more. The treasure hunt is only getting richer. Next up, the year was 1942. The world was in flames. The United States had just entered the Second World War after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and everything changed overnight. Factories shifted to war production, families rationed supplies, and even the nation's coinage was transformed forever. That year, the mint made a decision unlike any before. For the first time, the humble nickel would be struck with silver, because pure nickel was desperately needed for armor plating and war machinery. And thus, the 1942p war nickel was born, the very first of its kind, the beginning of a short but legendary chapter in U.S. coinage. Now, let's pause for a moment and imagine this coin in its time. Picture soldiers heading overseas, mothers saving war bonds, children collecting scrap metal for the effort. And in their hands, these nickels circulated, every single one a silent contribution to victory. But while millions were made, few have survived in collectible condition, especially those like the one we highlight today. A 1942p with a soft light green spot on the reverse, preserved in very fine condition, with a beauty that cannot be overstated. The design by James Earl Fraser remains a timeless masterpiece. On the obverse, Jefferson's noble profile stares forward with strength and resolve. On the reverse, Monticello, his stately home, stands proudly. But what makes this coin unique is the massive mint mark above Monticello, a bold P that forever marked the beginning of wartime silver coinage. This was history in the making, and that P mint mark tells collectors instantly you're holding one of the most important nickels ever struck in the United States. Add to that the natural beauty of this specimen. Over the decades, silver reacts to the environment, and this particular coin has developed a light green spot on the reverse, an accent that collectors adore. Far from being seen as damage, it adds uniqueness, character, and a whisper of authenticity. No two coins tone alike, and this green hue sets it apart as truly one of a kind. But let's talk rarity and survival. Most of these coins were spent and lost to time. Some were hoarded when people realized they were silver, but very few survived in nice, collectible condition after 8 decades. That's why when a 1942p surfaces in very fine condition, with its details sharp and its natural toning intact, collectors go into a frenzy. This isn't just a coin. It's the start of an era, a key piece of numismatic history, and a prize that serious collectors will stop at nothing to secure. And here is the thunderous reveal. In today's auction market, a 1942p war nickel in very fine condition commands an astounding $140,500. Yes, $140,500 US dollars. Think about that. A 5-cent coin, minted in a time of war, now stands as a fortune in its own right. A treasure no different from a chest of gold, except this one fits neatly in the palm of your hand. And let me assure you, this is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is today's market, confirmed by collectors, auction houses, and the undeniable truth of demand. The value of this coin continues to surge upward day by day as more collectors recognize the significance of owning the first wartime silver nickel. Every auction pushes the bar higher. Every sale cements its legendary status. This is not just a collectible. It is a treasure that grows richer with every passing year. For collectors watching this right now, here's your tip. Always look for that large mint mark above Monticello. The P in 1942 was the very first of its kind, never before used on nickels. If you come across one, especially in very fine or better condition, you may very well be holding the gateway to fortune. Protect it, authenticate it, guard it like treasure, because it is exactly that, a treasure from America's wartime past, now valued as a fortune in the present. The 1942p war nickel is more than a coin. It is history, it is rarity, and it is beauty combined into one remarkable piece of metal. It tells the story of sacrifice, resilience, and victory. Owning one is not just holding money, it's holding a legacy. And remember, here at True Coin Value, we bring you faithful, fresh, and daily updates on treasures like this, so you'll always know what hidden fortunes are waiting to be discovered. We've now uncovered 5 incredible coins in this journey, each more breathtaking than the last. But don't blink, because the final coin on our list will leave you speechless. The treasure hunt is about to reach its ultimate climax. Next up, and now, my friends, we have reached the final chapter of our treasure hunt today. But this is not just another coin, it is the climax of our journey, a coin that represents both the end of an era and the birth of a legacy. I'm talking about the 1945 war nickel with its rare and captivating yellow layers preserved in very fine condition. Let's step back into history for a moment. The year was 1945. The world's deadliest war was drawing to a close, and the United States stood tall as a beacon of victory. Amidst all this, the San Francisco Mint produced one of the final wartime nickels ever to be struck. Like its earlier wartime siblings, this coin was made not of nickel, but of an alloy that included 35% silver, a decision that marked one of the most extraordinary changes in U.S. coinage history. These coins weren't just money, they were symbols of sacrifice, patriotism, and endurance in a time when every resource was precious. But the 1945S is special. The bold S mint mark sits proudly above Monticello on the reverse, a telltale sign of its wartime identity. And over the decades, this particular piece has developed something absolutely mesmerizing, yellow layers of toning across its surface. To a casual observer, it might seem like just color, but to collectors, it is a sign of authenticity, beauty, and natural aging that makes each specimen one of a kind. No two 1945S war nickels carry the exact same toning. This unique golden hue turns this already rare coin into something almost magical, a coin that looks less like currency and more like treasure forged in time. Now let's talk about its survival. Remember, most of these coins circulated heavily, used in daily transactions as the war ended and America entered a new era of prosperity. Many were worn smooth, melted down, or lost to time. To find one today in very fine condition, with sharp details still visible and those yellow layers intact, is an incredible stroke of luck. It is the kind of find that makes collectors' hearts race and investors sharpen their focus. And here's the thunderclap you've been waiting for. In today's auction market, a 1945S war nickel in very fine condition with this unique yellow layering is valued at a breathtaking $123,000. That's right, 123,000 US dollars for a coin that once quietly changed hands for 5 cents. This is no fiction, no exaggeration. This is today's undeniable truth. What you are looking at is nothing less than a big treasure, a fortune locked into metal smaller than the palm of your hand. And let me tell you something, this is only the beginning for the 1945S. Its value is climbing steadily, year by year, auction by auction. Collectors are chasing it. Investors are watching it. The demand is unstoppable, and the future of this coin is brighter than the golden glow that coats its surface. If you are lucky enough to encounter one, protect it, authenticate it, and never underestimate its worth. Because this is more than a collectible, it is an investment, a legacy, and a living piece of history. This 1945S war nickel is not just the end of the wartime series, it is the crown jewel of it. A coin that symbolizes the close of one chapter in American history and the opening of another, all while carrying within it the value of a fortune. It is without question one of the most powerful treasures you could ever hope to discover. So here's my message to every coin enthusiast, every treasure hunter, every collector watching right now. Never overlook the nickels in your collection, your family's jars, or even in old rolls and boxes. Because hidden within them could be something that transforms your life forever. A simple 5-cent piece that carries with it the wealth of kings. And this, my friends, is why we created True Coin Value, to bring you faithful, trustworthy, and daily updates about treasures like this. Coins that aren't just metal, but history. Coins that aren't just collectibles, but fortunes. Coins that have the power to turn ordinary people into keepers of extraordinary wealth. Today, we've uncovered 6 of the most ultra-rare and valuable buffalo nickels and war nickels in the auction market, each one more breathtaking than the last. From the elusive buffalo issues of the 1920s and 30s to the patriotic war nickels of the 1940s, each coin tells a story of history, rarity, and wealth beyond imagination. And as we close this treasure hunt, remember this: these coins are still out there. They may be tucked away in attics, locked in vaults, or even waiting in change jars, unsuspected. The hunt is real, the treasure is real, and the value is climbing every single day. Stay faithful, stay curious, stay excited, because the world of coins is the world of hidden treasures, and here on True Coin Value, we'll keep bringing you the stories that reveal them. This is not the end. This is only the beginning of your treasure hunt.